This conference will.
Great. So hi everyone. Welcome to this session on critical reasoning. Critical reasoning questions will come in your XAT also. They may come in SNAP also. They may come in NMAT also. So critical reasoning does form an important part of your non-CAT examinations. Now, typically you will get questions like where you are talked about what strengthens the argument, what weakens the argument, what is the assumption of the argument, etc. So since most of the questions revolve around these areas, it becomes very important for us in critical reasoning questions to identify that what is the core premise being talked about, what is the core idea that is being talked about, and if any particular idea or a view or a premise is being talked about, then what are the basis of that on which it is being talked about. Because say if someone asks you to weaken or strengthen the argument, you are going to hit or support at the base on which that argument is built. So when you are asked to strengthen or weaken the argument, you don't go and hit the argument, but you go and hit or support the base on which that argument is made. And if I'm asking you that what is the assumption, then in that case you have to give me that missing bridge which will help my given statements to uh, to get completed, to get a support system and be able to achieve the argument which is being talked about. So broadly, critical reasoning questions will revolve around these three areas, and then everything else is just a variant of one form or the other of one of these three types. So let us see and let us try to solve some questions. The first question is on your screen. Photography is no longer an art form. Can you tell me what is the assumption in the given couple of sentences? The question is on your screen. Options are on your screen. Photography is no longer an art form. Nowadays, everyone has access to digital cameras that only need to be pointed at the subject in order to generate a perfect image. The writer of the argument assumes that Aditi, what is the answer you are getting? Santan says A, Udeshya A, Vatsal A, Shweta A. Aditi, what's the answer you are getting? Anyone who is getting any other option? Shaurya, from where Shaurya and Nayanika, from what do you think is the statement art is not perfect helping me to achieve? Why do you think that art is not perfect is the assumption? Because nowhere am I talking about photography is no longer an art form. That does not say that photography is not perfect or art is not perfect. It is just saying that whatever is, it's no more an art form. It means that it does not require any artistic skills anymore, because now you don't need to develop those artistic skills, because you can simply use digital cameras, point them at the subject, and you get the perfect image. That is what my first sentence is referring to. My sentence is not talking about perfection. Are you getting what I'm trying to say, Shaurya, Nanika? Photography is no longer an art form. It does not say that photography is no longer a perfect art, or art is no more perfect and hence photography is no more an art form. It's not talking about perfection. Okay. My correct answer is option number A, where, because my entire argument says that just because digital cameras have come and they have automated generating a perfect image, photography is no longer an art form. That is what my argument is saying. So, if my argument of photography is no longer an art form revolves around the fact that digital cameras have brought in the automation in generating image, and hence I am saying that photography is no longer an art form, that means that I am saying that only generating a perfect image is photography. Only generating a perfect image is the artistic attribute you require to make photography an art form. So to hit that, I would hit that, I would hit at and bring in another factor and not let the factor be only generating a perfect image. And hence my correct answer is option number A, because option number A lets me introduce a new factor in addition to generating a perfect image while we consider photography photography's artistic attributes. Is it clear? Nayanika, Shaurya, everyone else, is it clear? Why am I going for option A? Now, question number 2. You have two parts in bold. You have to tell me what is the role which each of these bold parts is playing in the given paragraph. There are two parts which are in bold. You have to tell me the role of these two bold parts. Options are on your screen. Harsh says C, Aditi says C, Shaurya says D, Shweta also says D. Waiting for few more answers. Santan says D, Vatsal says C. So the fight is between C and D. Anyone who is getting any other option, or is it between C and D? Okay, so it's between C and D. I guess the second statement is very strongly dependent upon the first one. So if I can understand the difference in the role of the first statement, my second role is easy, right? Second is very strongly connected to it. So I just need to identify the role of the first one. And the major difference which I see is C saying that it is a fact which author is using, and the second is where option number D says it is a speculation and author is trying to justify. Can can you tell me how is author trying to justify this speculation? Which statement is justifying this speculation? Wishes to justify means wishes to explain the rationale behind it. Where is the author explaining this speculation, or say defending this speculation, or defending the fact that there is an enormous distance between stars and it's a space which is not entirely devoid of matter? Is the author defending it anywhere? Is the author justifying it? If the author is doing it, which statement is doing it? So, and then in which statement is the author trying to justify the speculation that the stars are not spaces entirely devoid of matter? And is the speculation written in an affirmative sentence with full stop, no question, no exclamation? The enormous distances between stars are not spaces entirely devoid of matter. Speculation creates a dilemma in your mind. Speculation creates a doubt in your mind. If I just read the first statement, is it creating any doubt in my mind? Is it creating any dilemma in my mind that whether the distance between the stars is devoid of matter or not? It is not a speculation, it is a fact which the author has said, and then he elaborates it in the following two sentences. And then he says that if this was not true, then this would happen. Do I make sense? My correct answer will be option number C. Sayantan and everyone who said D, do you agree that why should we not go for D and why should we go for C? Any doubts, anyone? Okay, moving to the next question. Let me know if it is readable or not. I had to reduce the font size because it's going in two different pages. Okay, perfect. So shoot your answer for this question. The number of people diagnosed with dengue fever, which is also contracted from the bite of an infected mosquito. The number of people diagnosed with this fever in North India this year is twice the number diagnosed last year. Authorities have concluded that measures to control the mosquito population have failed in this region. All of the following, if true, would cast doubt on the authorities' conclusion, except, okay, what is authorities' conclusion? That the measures to control the mosquito population have failed in this region. And what is the basis of that? That more people have been diagnosed this year, which means that more people ended up having this particular fever in the region. And because more people have been affected by this fever, this means that mosquito population did not reduce in the region. This is the authorities' conclusion. Am I correct? Conclusion is population has not been controlled, mosquito population has not been controlled, and the reason is more people have been diagnosed. So any option out of the five, because my author says, the question says that all of the following, if true, would cast doubt on authorities' conclusion. Means all the options are going to hit at the fact that more people being diagnosed is not the result of more people getting this fever. So every option which gives me another reason for more diagnosis to happen is casting the doubt on authorities' conclusion. But there is going to be one option which does not give me a reason that why would more people be diagnosed, and that will be the option which does not cast doubt on authorities' conclusion. Do we agree that the question is asking me to tell the option which does not cast doubt on authorities' conclusion? Is that my question? Okay. So more cases are now reported because of increases in administrative efficiency. Is this giving me an alternate reason than the mosquito population, that why are more people diagnosed? Is it giving me an alternate reason? Just like corona, if we have less people being tested, less people will be reported and less people will be found impacted by it. So if I am increasing the testing and that is resulting in my more cases, that does not mean that corona cases are increasing. It also means that today I am inspecting more people for that. So A is definitely giving me another reason. A cannot be my answer. A very high proportion of the cases were in people who had recently returned from neighboring countries. Is it giving me an alternate reason? So if more people have come in from other countries and most of these new people who have been diagnosed are from those neighboring countries, that does mean that I cannot put the reason on mosquito population in this region. Am I correct? So B cannot be my answer. An effective diagnostic test was introduced about 9 months ago. Will this be my answer or not? Will this be my answer or not? Okay, this will again be not my answer because it is not telling me that I can put the blame on mosquito population. It is a very out of scope kind of a statement. It cannot be my answer either way. It is neither strengthening nor weakening the authority's conclusion. Option number D, the disease is prevalent only in some industrialized areas which have shown a dramatic increase in the population due to migration. This is again giving me an alternate reason. Is option number D giving me an alternate reason? Shweta, Tushar, Harsh, Aditi, do you think that option number D is giving me an alternate reason? And hence, it is casting the doubt on authorities' conclusion? Option number E, the incidence of malaria also contracted from mosquito bites has increased. Is this supporting the fact that the mosquito population is not getting controlled? Every disease which is happening because of mosquito bites is seeing the increase in cases. So, option number E, Udeshi, that's what I'm explaining. Every other option is trying to give you another reason that why I cannot put the blame on mosquito population for this increase in dengue fever cases, and they all are casting doubt on authorities' conclusion. My question is, tell me to my question asks me to mark the option which does not cast doubts on authorities' conclusion. That means I will have to mark the option which supports that mosquito population is not getting controlled in this region, and which I find is only happening in option number E, because if I am saying that dengue fever cases have increased because it happens due to mosquito, and even malaria has increased because it happens due to mosquitoes. So that definitely means that mosquito population is not being controlled, and hence it does not cast any doubt on authorities' conclusion. So my correct answer will be option number E. Do we all agree? Understood? Okay. Question number 4. Question number 4 is on screen. What is the answer you all are getting? I have to, I may have multiple options which are weakening the argument. but I need to find out the one which weakens the argument to the maximum extent. To the maximum extent. I can eliminate option number E. Do all of us agree? I can eliminate option number E, that the faces with more masculine features were all significantly older than those with the feminine features. Rating scale 1 also I can eliminate. Does not make sense. Also, the visual images were computer generated and they were not of actual men. Also does not make much of sense, because doesn't matter whether the image is computer generated or is it of an actual man. If I'm using them for a survey, they are my criteria. I cannot just say put this as a reason. So B, C, and E are eliminated. I have to decide between A and D. I have to decide between A and D. Between A and D, what hurts my conclusion in the maximum, in the maximum extent out of A and D. Facial features are not the criterion that most women use to decide whether a man is attractive. Most popular male actors have the features that are steady allocated to the more masculine category. If I read option A and if I read option D, we are talking about popularity of men, and we are talking about popularity of men basis their facial features. And in that too, I'm saying that men with feminine features in their face are more popular. So if I can hit this popularity argument and link the popularity to non-feminine features as well, will I be able to weaken the argument? See, A also weakens, D also weakens. But what I am trying to find out is what weakens more. A just gives me a random set that there is a possibility that there is going to be a different criteria which women use to mark men as attractive, and hence I cannot put facial feature as a sole reason. But at the end of the day, people with feminine features on their face were marked as more popular. So I cannot say that A goes and hits my argument very strongly. But option number D, if I say that most of the male popular actors are having masculine facial features, that means I'm directly hitting it. Because if that was the case, people would prefer male actors with feminine facial features too. And hence this is more precise. This is more hitting. Out of A and D, while both weaken the argument, D weakens it more, A weakens it relatively less, because A is slightly generic and is taking away the focus from the facial feature itself. But D is hitting on the facial feature as the reason. Do we understand the difference between A and D? And why am I going for D over A? Do we agree? Anyone who has any doubt? Aditi, Shweta, Deven, are you getting it? Do you have any doubt? Okay. Moving to the question number 5. Again, it is based on the same paragraph which we just had. Tell the assumption that the researchers made in this study. Assumption. Let's go about. Let's go to the passage. In a recent study of responses to visual images, researchers found that women most frequently gave the rating to this. The researchers concluded that modern women prefer men who are less obviously masculine in their facial features. Okay, going back. Women in previous ages would have preferred more masculine men. They are not comparing two different ages, are they? Or are they not? Are they comparing with the choices of the previous ages women or not? Not comparing, right? I can, so option number E does not make sense. It's not an assumption required anywhere. It is impossible to predict what features an ideal face would have. Again, this is certainly not the part of the study being talked about. Visual images are important to women. Again, we are not talking about this. Visual images are just used as a question in the survey to ask whether you like it, whether you like the find the man in this particular image attractive or not. Nowhere does the passage talked about visual images being important to women. Maybe if instead of visual images, some traits were described in text, women could have answered even then. That does not make that text important to women. So option number C is not valid over here. Anyone who answered option number C, are you getting why am I not considering C? Because my passage, my study is not about the importance, or it is not leveraging the importance of visual images. It is leveraging the importance of those features which are coming out in the visual images. I could use any text, video, image, GIF, or any format to show that representation of the facial feature. If this was facial features are important to women, then probably I would have gone for this option. But it says visual images are important. I will not go for this option. Male faces are in general attractive to women. This is a very generic statement. This cannot be my assumption. This does not tell me how is it linked to the conclusion of my study. But option number A, my suddenly just because I distributed my response to a certain set of women and then I come and make the conclusion as something which is preferred by all the modern women, that I can only do when I assume, when I say that my sample set is the correct representation of the overall set, and hence A is the assumption which the author is making over here. Option number A. Do we understand that why am I not going for B? Why am I not going for C? And why am I going for A? Is it clear? Shweta, Tushar, is it clear? Okay. Moving to question number 6. Are you all able to get that? How do we approach these questions? What should be my thought process while eliminating the options? And the best way in critical reasoning is to eliminate the options. Rather than finding the correct answer, go for elimination approach. Question number 6. Shoot your answers. Red is a color which has powerful effects on human beings as well as animals. A group of psychologists carried out an experiment which confirms the subconscious effects of this color. They provided selected sports teams at school and college level with either red or blue shorts and recorded the outcome of the games. The teams wearing red won in disproportionate number of matches. The psychologists suggested that either the teams wearing red were felt to be more powerful, or the ones in the non-red were subconsciously intimidated by the red color. Which of the following, if true, would most weaken the psychologist's suggestion? So, what are the suggestions? First, people wearing red feel more powerful. Second, people who play against people wearing red, they get intimidated by red color. These are the two suggestions. Do we agree? First, I feel powerful. Second, if you see me in red, you get intimidated. These are the two suggestions. I need to hit at one or two of these suggestions to weaken it, right? Each team wore red in some matches and blue in others. This will not lead to me anywhere. This will not lead me anywhere, correct? I can eliminate option number A. Similarly, option number C, the effect was only observed if all the team members wore white shirts. It does not make sense. Nowhere is my passage talking about the color combination, whether red is wearing white or blue is wearing white or both are wearing white. I cannot use the color of the t-shirt as anything to either strengthen or weaken the argument. C is gone. A and C are gone. Red signifies danger in some cultures, whereas it signifies happiness in others. Again, this does not hurt my suggestion. It is out of scope. It is out of the scope. It is not talking about that whether a person wearing red gets more powerful or a person who is playing against red gets intimidated. I have to kill one of these suggestions. Only then I can arrive at my answer. D is not related to it. E. In a subsequent study, teams with all red outfits were more likely to report that they thought they would win no matter what colors the opponents wore. Is this supporting my argument that people wearing red feel to be more powerful? Is E supporting my argument? Is E supporting the psychologist's suggestion? Is it supporting or is it negating? Is my option number E supporting the suggestion or negating it? Is it negating? In a subsequent study, teams with all red outfits believe that they are more powerful. That's what E is saying. E is supporting my suggestion. My suggestion is about the impact of red color. My suggestion is saying that people in red color feel more powerful or people playing against those who wear red get intimidated. E is supporting that fact by saying that people who wear all red, both shirt and shorts, they feel that doesn't matter what color is in front of them. That means they feel more powerful. It is supporting. It is not negating. Option number B. The color blue has the subconscious effect of making human beings less competitive. This means that people wearing blue do not get intimidated against people wearing red, but they at an absolute level become less competitive. And that is the reason when red was made to play against blue, red won in disproportionate number of matches. This comes and hits at my suggestion that people playing against red get intimidated by red color. Does this make sense? Is it making sense? Anyone who has any question over here? Cool. Last question of the day. Okay, there are more questions. There are 7, 8, 9. We will discuss till 7. Rest we will discuss in the next session. I will keep one more session on critical reasoning. Considering the accuracy of you all attempting today, we will keep one more session on critical reasoning after this, where we will discuss the remaining questions of this PDF and we will be discussing some more questions. I will send you this PDF immediately after the class. Today's last question, question number 7. Tell me your answers. This is easy. Come on, all of you should get this correct. Question number 7. You have to tell me what can be implied from the passage. What can I infer from the passage? What is implied by the passage, that what all things have happened? Okay, we doubt that the latest government report, highlight the latest government report, will scare Americans away from ham, bacon, etc., etc., or that it will empty out the bars or cause a run on natural food supplies. If a diet were to be mandated from Washington, if a diet was to be mandated from Washington, Americans probably would order the exact opposite course. Therefore, the diet that does make sense is to eat a balanced and varied diet composed of foods from all food groups and containing a reasonable caloric intake. Which of the following is or are specifically implied by the passage? Vitamins are necessary to combat disease. Nowhere is my passage talking about vitamins or it's about combating diseases. I will not go for any option which has statement number 1. Option A and D are eliminated because one cannot be one is not something which is implied by the passage. Nowhere am I talking about vitamins as a specific attribute. I'm not talking about combating diseases. I cannot imply this. I will not go with option number 1. Statement number 1. A recent report warned of the risks of meat and alcoholic beverages. Can this be true? Report will scare Americans away. Calories cannot be linked only to vitamins. Calories can be linked to multiple things. I cannot specifically point at vitamins only. That is why not statement number 1. Statement number 2. A recent report warned of the risks of meat and alcoholic beverages. And my opening statement was the latest government report will scare Americans away from meat and alcohol. Can I say that statement number 2 can be implied? Aditi, do you think that statement number 2 can be implied? Statement number 3. Unorthodox suggestions for a more nutritional diet were recently made by the government. If a diet were to be mandated from Washington, Americans probably would order the exact opposite course. Does this statement say that the suggestions were made by the government, or it says that if the government made these suggestions? Can I basis my second last statement, can I say that government has made suggestions, or can I not say that? Can I say it, or can I not say it? I can say it. My answers for this is 2 and 3. That is option number E. Option number E is my correct answer for this particular question. Do we all agree? Anyone who has any doubt? Is it clear? Perfect. So I'll be sharing this PDF with you. Please attempt the remaining questions. We'll discuss them. We'll keep the next critical reasoning class this week itself. Maybe on Sunday we will keep, so that on Sunday afternoon we will keep it, so that we can discuss the remaining questions and do some more questions on critical reasoning. Sunday around 4 or 5 p.m. we will keep the class. I will share the exact time, and recording of this session will be available to you. Please practice critical reasoning more. It's a very easy thing to get almost 100% correct once you get the drift, that how do you need to approach the questions. And that's the purpose that we are solving questions. So, and whenever we are solving, we are also trying to understand that what's the thought process I'm using to solve them, so that you can understand that how do we go about eliminating the option. They will not have, but yes, a good chunk. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. I'll be sharing this PDF in the WhatsApp group shortly. Thank you. Good night.